Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we are going to spend a bit more time talking about the key benefits of the one-piece takeaway. Now, in an earlier video, which we'll post up here somewhere, we talked about the differences between the one-piece and the two-piece takeaway. Now, I talked about why I'm a much bigger fan of the one-piece takeaway for most golfers. And today I wanted to spend just a little bit more time helping you really understand how powerful and valuable that one-piece takeaway can be for you when we really understand it. So let's get into it. So part one of this is understanding that upper body is what leads the way here. In turn, our legs and our arms play a more secondary role in the one-piece takeaway, right? So if we keep the order of operations, if you will, in good stead, then we'll have a smooth movement through the backswing, and we'll also maintain the integrity of the club path, right? And we won't get really wristy and that type of thing. So those are really important things to understand. So component number one for us to remember with the one-piece takeaway is that the upper body really begins the things. Remember, it is the engine, it's the core that literally gets things doing. Now, it's also important for us to understand what the primary purpose of the backswing is for both of us. First things first, understand that our backswing and our forward or through swing are two distinct motions. A lot of times you'll see people kind of irky-jerky because they're seeking to try to generate power with their arms, and so it's throwing the sequence out of whack and just creating an inconsistent and sloppy swing. Number two, it is really important for us to maintain what I like to term as focused energy in our wrist. Now, a lot of times you will hear people talk about how important it is to not have a vice grip on the club, and that is absolutely true. But we do need to maintain some measure of, again, what I like to call focused energy, because really these two fingers, right, are really serving an important and significant role, and we'll talk about that down the road in another video. But we do have focused energy and pressure so that we can smoothly strike the ball and release the club. So those things are important. So understanding that it's not about having a ton of tension. At the same time, we don't want to be really loosey-goosey, but focused energy. Now, this third component is not so much a technical element as it is an overall benefit to your golf game. The reality is that many of us don't have tons and tons of time to practice and play. And for many of us, frankly, if given the choice, we would prefer to play a bit more than we practice. That's kind of natural, right? But here's the thing. The one-piece takeaway is much more if you will, user-friendly, because it doesn't require as much detail and accuracy with the sequencing, right? In the two-piece takeaway, it's about my hands, my arms, then my body. Okay, that's great sequencing if you have an opportunity to practice it over and over, and if you had an opportunity to do it for many years or just a lot of hours. But again, many of us don't always have that, so it's just more beneficial in that regard. Secondly, some of us do not have the flexion and the strength to hit quality and consistent shots with that two-piece takeaway over and over and over again. So we want to build a repeatable, body-friendly swing, so the one-piece takeaway is simply a winner. So those are the three main points that I wanted to address regarding the one-piece takeaway. It's just so beneficial for so many people that I thought it was important that we cover that, because the delight is in the details, right? So when we know better, we can play better. See you in the next video.